Hello fellow survivors, the boat you see in front of you belongs to the Trader, a new entity in the Long Dark in survival mode that allows you to get some really unique items. And in this video we're going to explain briefly how the Trader works and how you can get the ball rolling and interacting with him. And with that being said, let's just get straight to it and talk about the Trader. Now first things first, in order to interact with the Trader you have to have the DLC installed. And then you need to go to one of the areas that has a shortwave radio. For example, the post office in Milton, where you can find one of these radios on the desk. This is different from the handheld radio that you can find in the Forsaken Airfield. They are not connected. You have to use these particular radios and they are scattered all over the Great Bear. So you can pretty much interact with them from anywhere on the map as long as you find one of these. The way it works is that once an aurora hits, the radio will become active and you can then speak to the Trader. Once he speaks, you can have a conversation with him and ask him all sorts of questions.
We're really out on the edge of it all, ain't we?
However, what you're really in there for is the trading, and when you enter the trading, there'll be a new menu that comes with offers of things that he can give you and things he wants in return. Now, some of the stuff that he will trade will be regular stuff found in the game or things you can craft yourself. There'll also be unique things like different variants of clothing, but also original stuff that we haven't seen before, like food recipes, like the pemmican bar, or things like the wolf skin pants and all sorts of stuff. So the Trader has some really unique items you can only get through the Trader, which is very cool. You can only trade 3 things at a given time with him, so you have to select which 3 you want. He will then give you a price of what he wants in return, and when you're done, you accept the trade. I will point out, though, a couple things. Some of the requirements he has can be really steep. For example, here's an instance where I wanted 3 bags of dried apples, and he wanted 36 cedar wood for that and some water, which is quite a lot of wood, really, for what you get in return. But that's just the Trader. Another thing is that when you get the trade list from him, it does seem to be somewhat random. So what you can do is you can save the game before interacting with him and then load the game back up, and you should get a slightly different list. However, you can interact with him infinitely, as I understand it, so you're not going to miss out. So if you don't get the recipe you want or something, you can get it another time. Now, once you've accepted the trade, you need to go to a new area in the map. You need to go to Coastal Highway. And in Coastal Highway, there is now a new location south of Jackrabbit Island. There's now a little pier there, which wasn't there before. And if you approach the pier, there's this little yellow box. And in here is where you deposit your items. So when you have everything that the Trader wants, and you have to have all of this for the trade to work, you put it into this box. And when you've finished it, the box will lock and you cannot open it again. Now, to continue the trade from here, you have to wait for the next Aurora. And in my experience, in all of the trades I did, if you completed a trade and put everything in the box, it always triggered an Aurora the next night. You then pick up the radio again and tell the Trader that the trade has been completed. When you now return to the location where you left the deposit, you might even actually see this Trader's boat in background. And if you now open the box, you'll have your goods inside and the trade is completed. You can then trade with the Trader again if you like by waiting for the next Aurora and asking for a trade yet again. In time, the Trader will trust you more and more, and he'll offer you different sort of quests, almost like a 4th tail. However, we're not going to talk about that in this video. We're only going to talk about how the Trader works, and this should be enough to get you going. One final thing about the Trader before we go is that he does have a sort of grace period. So if you start a new run, he won't be available right away. You have to wait a certain amount of days before he becomes active, and how long that is depends on your difficulty. I haven't tested it extensively, but the times that are listed on the Long Dark Wikipedia does seem to be pretty accurate. However, if you have an existing run that have already surpassed these days and you load that up, now with new content installed, the Trader is already available right away, so you don't have to wait. Now that's it. That's the Trader for you. If you don't have the DLC, I recommend you getting it. If you do have it, I highly recommend that you do go and check out the trader. He's got some really unique stuff in store. If you're playing on Interloper and Misery especially, it's absolutely worth having the trader enabled and interacting with him, because he will give you some blueprints and items that will make it much easier to travel and stay warm in this really harsh environment. So yeah, very unique thing, absolutely worth checking out. And good luck with your trade to the trader, and good luck with your story with him. That's the trader for you. See you next time, survivors.